A kiss makes the anger go away. Bai Yu pondered. 1 million. What do you need it for? Naturally, I have my uses for it. Bai Yu seemed to think of something. You're not borrowing money from me to support Chu Jinan, are you? Song Yunfei immediately denied it. How is that possible? Does he even need me to borrow money to support him? Before she could finish, the front door suddenly opened, and Chu Jinan walked in carrying a cardboard box. Song Yunfei shut her mouth and hung up the phone. On the other end of the line, Bai Yu looked at the suddenly disconnected call and let out a disgruntled chuckle. Chu Jinan glanced at her and placed the delivery box on the floor. Your stuff. Thank you. Song Yunfei tore open the box and took out the monitor, mouse, and keyboard inside. But she suddenly realized a problem. There didn't seem to be a computer desk. Was she supposed to use the computer while lying on the floor? No, I still need to go out and buy a desk. Song Yunfei stood up to leave, but out of the corner of her eye, she saw Chu Jinan staring straight at her. Why are you looking at me like that? Song Yunfei felt a bit creeped out by his gaze. I'm really just going out to buy a desk. Chu Jinan, I didn't ask what you were going out to do. Quote. The more she tried to explain, the worse it sounded. You're not suspecting me of cheating again, are you? Chu Jinan looked at her expressionlessly and stiffly spat out 2 words, I'm not. Not suspecting. His mouth was practically drooping to his chin. Song Yunfei sighed inwardly, stepped forward, and took his hand. He really is just a classmate. Although I admit my charm is too great and many people like me, that's not something I can control. Song Yunfei boasted without blushing or a racing heart. Seeing Chu Jinan's gaze gradually turn strange, her skin proved a bit thin after all, and her cheeks began to feel slightly hot. She hugged Chu Jinan tightly. But the one I like most is still you. Chu Jinan looked down. Like most? Do you have a second favorite? Quote. No, I mean, I only have you in my heart. You are irreplaceable. No one can compare. Seeing his expression soften slightly, Song Yunfei continued to coax him. Think about it, I've known him for so long. If there were really something between us, wouldn't I have run off long ago? Would I still be here renting a place with you? Chu Jinan didn't speak, he just watched her. Alright, don't be angry anymore. As she spoke, she stood on her tiptoes and gave him a kiss on the lips. She looked at him with a beaming smile. A kiss makes the anger go away, okay. Chu Jinan looked at her curved eyes, and his own gaze unconsciously darted away, carrying a hint of flustered discomfort. I wasn't angry. One look at him and Song Yunfei knew he had been coaxed successfully. She felt he wasn't angry because he suspected her of cheating, but rather because a man who seemed wealthier and more successful than him had suddenly appeared, making him feel provoked. Bai Yu was dressed in a sharp suit, drove a Mercedes, and had a steady aura. He looked like a successful man at a glance. He was poor, rode a beat-up electric scooter, and didn't even have a decent suit. If she ever chose Bai Yu, he wouldn't even have the confidence to ask her to stay. Song Yunfei blinked. Really? Then give me a hug. Chu Jinan was silent for a moment before finally breaking. He reached out his arms and pulled her tightly into his embrace. Feeling his warm, broad chest and listening to his steady, powerful heartbeat, Song Yunfei's hanging heart finally settled. The precarious favorability rating had finally stabilized. So, why were you at the delivery station? The man's body stiffened for a second, but it was gone in an instant. A calm voice came from above her head, picking up a package. Then where is your package? Forgot it. Song Yunfei didn't believe him at all. She looked up at him. What did you buy? Chu Jinan looked away, avoiding her eyes. Forgot. Song Yunfei suddenly let go of him and glared with feigned anger. Aha, you really were following me. The air fell silent, filled with the awkwardness of being caught red-handed. After a brief silence, Chu Jinan spoke. I'm sorry. Song Yunfei was stunned. She thought he would continue to be stubborn, but she hadn't expected him to admit it so frankly. Why were you following me? Her voice softened as her finger poked his hard chest. She asked with a grin, afraid I'd run off with someone. Chu Jinan's body stiffened again from her poking. He suddenly grabbed Song Yunfei's wrist and changed the subject. Weren't you going to buy a desk? Why aren't you leaving yet? Oh right, I almost forgot the main task. Song Yunfei stopped teasing him, grabbed her car keys, and prepared to head out. Unexpectedly, Chu Jinan followed her. He walked unhurriedly by her side, as if afraid she might run away. Song Yunfei couldn't help but feel conflicted, especially when she thought about what Bai Yu said, something about post-traumatic attachment. Once he regained his memory, he would surely find his current actions childish, perhaps even a stain on his reputation. The two of them rode to the nearest furniture store. Song Yunfei picked and chose, eventually selecting a cheaper one with decent quality. Even so, it cost over 200 yuan. The 4,000 yuan manager Zhang Tao had given her was almost spent. She would have to be frugal until next month's payday. Since it was difficult to carry back on the electric scooter, the merchant gave her an unassembled one for her to put together herself at home. After they got back, Chu Jinan conscientiously opened the packaging and began to skillfully assemble it. Song Yunfei squatted beside him, handing him parts and occasionally showering him with flattery. Chu Jinan suddenly asked, "Why did you suddenly buy a computer?" Song Yunfei had already prepared an excuse. She smiled and said, "I want to learn some things." Chu Jinan nodded and didn't ask further, burying his head back into assembling the computer desk. After about half an hour, the desk was assembled and placed not far from the bed. Song Yunfei couldn't wait to turn on the computer to check the specs and hardware. Fortunately, she hadn't been cheated. The configuration was exactly as the other party had stated. Chu Jinan watched her operate the computer skillfully, even checking the BIOS settings page. It was clear she was very familiar with computers. But Chu Jinan himself was also stunned, because when he saw that page, he knew exactly what it was for at a glance. This meant he should also be familiar with it. Immediately after, he saw Song Yunfei expertly find various cracked versions of drawing software and install them with practiced ease. After watching for a while, Chu Jinan finally couldn't help but speak up. "Are you sure you're just preparing to learn?" Song Yunfei glanced back at him and continued her nonsense. "I self-studied for a while before, I'm just not very proficient yet." Chu Jinan fell silent and said no more, turning away to cook dinner. After dinner, Chu Jinan still headed out to the factory. Song Yunfei stayed home to tinker with the computer, drawing out design sketches she had made in the past. There was a software platform where she could register. Once she passed the review, she could start taking commissions herself. Chu Jinan was still busy with the new workshop, so he only spent Saturday morning with her. The rest of the time, he was at the factory. That fellow Bai Yu always picked the evening to call her on purpose. Song Yunfei would immediately hang up. But this night, Song Yunfei went to the bathroom to take a shower. The phone left on the bed suddenly rang. Chu Jinan, who was mopping the floor, saw the vibrating phone on the bed. He glanced at the blurry silhouette in the bathroom. He suddenly reached out and swiped to answer. He didn't speak. 2 seconds later, Bai Yu's voice rang out, finally willing to answer the phone. "You still haven't told me what on earth you need to borrow $1 million for." Chapter 72. If you want a car or a house, I can give them all to you. After Bai Yu finished speaking, there was silence on the phone. He also fell silent for a few seconds, then suddenly burst out laughing. "I see, you also think electric bikes are embarrassing, right? So you want to buy a car. I remember you saying you like Mercedes. 1 million seems just right." Just as he finished, the call was disconnected. Song Yunfei came out after her shower, drying her hair, and saw Chu Jinan sitting silently on the sofa. She felt the atmosphere was a bit off again, so she walked over and asked tentatively, "What's wrong?" Chu Jinan shook his head slightly. "It's nothing." "Then why are you spacing out?" "Thinking about things at the factory." Song Yunfei gave an "oh." She didn't understand factory matters anyway, so she decided not to ask and turned to blow dry her hair. However, for the next few days, Song Yunfei felt that this guy was preoccupied with something, and he spoke even less. Bai Yu was probably at work and didn't have time to harass her. During the holidays, Song Yunfei worked on several drawings, including renderings and construction drawings. After finishing them, she uploaded them and waited for approval. Song Yunfei stretched and glanced at the setting sun outside. Her 7-day holiday had finally come to an end. Just as she was about to go out for groceries, her phone rang again. Seeing the caller ID, Song Yunfei felt a headache coming on. It was that guy Bai Yu again. She answered the phone and said crossly, "What are you calling for again?" "What's wrong? If you don't want to take my calls that much, then just block me." Quote. Song Yunfei had thought about it many times, but she didn't dare. First of all, she knew Bai Yu didn't truly like her. If she provoked him too much, there was no telling if he would try to take her down with him. Song Yunfei's tone softened, and she put on a smile. "It's nothing like that. I've been working all day and I'm just in a bad mood." "So, Dr. Bai, is there something you need?" Bai Yu chuckled. "That's more like it. Weren't you going to borrow money from me? Why did you stop halfway? You even hung up on me. Is that any way to ask for a loan?" Song Yunfei blinked. She had almost forgotten about that. Her smile grew even brighter. "I've been too busy these past few days, sorry about that." "Can you tell me now? What do you need the money for?" "What for? To be ready to run away at any time, of course." That day, she had also been annoyed by Bai Yu and wanted to fleece him for some money. Later, when her anger subsided, she forgot about it. Song Yunfei always felt she could be exposed at any moment, so she wanted to prepare in advance. Get the money ready first, so if she were exposed, she could flee immediately. At that point, she wouldn't care whether it was abroad or domestic, she'd just run first and worry later. Song Yunfei considered it and came up with a reasonable excuse. To buy a car, of course. Riding an electric bike every day, exposed to the sun and wind, and getting soaked like a drowned rat when it rains, who can stand that? Bai Yu paused for a moment. "I knew it. Isn't that why they say you're smart? So, will you lend it to me?" "No." Song Yunfei almost cursed. "Why ask so much if you're not going to lend it?" Bai Yu said, "You brought this on yourself. If you want money, a car, or a house, I can give them all to you, on the condition that you leave him and be with me. Goodbye." Song Yunfei hung up without hesitation, saying another word would be a waste of breath. Just as she hung up, Chu Jinan pushed the door open and walked in. Song Yunfei's heart skipped a beat. He didn't hear that, did he? Probably not. Definitely not. Song Yunfei glanced at his expression. Everything seemed normal. It looked like he hadn't heard. She walked over quickly to help him with the groceries. "Why are you back so early?" Chu Jinan pulled his hand away. "There's a group dinner later. I wanted to ask if you want to go." "Then why didn't you call me? And why did you buy groceries?" Chu Jinan didn't answer and carried the groceries to the kitchen. "If you don't go, I'll cook." Song Yunfei followed behind him. "Are you still going then?" "It's hard to decline this time. There's enough time to cook before going." Song Yunfei didn't know how to respond for a moment. It would be a lie to say she wasn't touched. He had been excessively diligent these past few days. They had agreed before that Song Yunfei would do the dishes, but he had been washing them himself after meals. He was doing chores more industriously than she was. When Song Yunfei woke up in the morning wanting to do laundry, she found the clothes already in the washing machine with the timer set. If she wanted to mop the floor, Chu Jinan would have already finished mopping before going to bed. It made Song Yunfei feel a bit guilty. Besides being touched, she was mostly on edge. Everything he was doing now would be recorded in a little black book in the future. It was all hatred points. Song Yunfei snatched the groceries from his hands and forced a smile. Don't cook, I'll go with you. Can I come as a family member? Hearing the words, family member, Chu Jinan stopped what he was doing and turned to look at her. Yes. Then why cook? It would be foolish not to eat a free feast. In no time at all, she packed the groceries into bags and put them in the refrigerator. Then she found an outfit to change into and applied some makeup. When she came out, Chu Jinan was leaning against the wall waiting for her. His gaze lingered on Song Yunfei's face for 2 seconds. She had changed into a loose, grey off-the-shoulder t-shirt paired with an off-white skirt. Her slightly curly long hair was spread behind her, and she wore a white headband. With light makeup, her whole appearance became more refined, and her eyes, especially with the eyeliner, looked even more spirited and cunning. She walked quickly to Chu Jinan's side, took his arm, and smiled. I'm ready. How is it? Wearing this won't embarrass you, will it? Chu Jinan shook his head slightly. Of course not. He raised his hand, his fingertips touching the white headband in her hair, and then smoothed out the folds of the t-shirt on her shoulder. Then, he withdrew his hand and held the hand she had tucked into the crook of his arm. Let's go. Song Yunfei smiled at him. The two of them went downstairs. Song Yunfei was about to head towards where the electric bike was parked. But she was pulled back by Chu Jinan. Let's take a taxi. Song Yunfei was stunned. Why? There's traffic on the road right now, and it's expensive. An electric bike is much better. Chu Jinan looked at her intently. His lips twitched as if he wanted to say something. It took a while before he said, You're wearing a skirt, it's inconvenient. It's fine. Quote. Chu Jinan added, It's too hot. It'll ruin your makeup. This point struck a chord with Song Yunfei. After a brief pause, she readily agreed. All right then, let's take a taxi. Chu Jinan took out his phone and started calling a ride. The two stood at the intersection waiting for the car. Traffic flowed on the road, and crowds bustled about. Colorful neon lights flickered in the dusk, casting a bizarre glow over the darkening sky. Standing on the noisy street, they were like streams merging into the ocean, yet also like two individuals independent of the strange city. Loneliness is not being alone, but being in the midst of excitement with no one by your side. Chu Jinan turned his head to look at Song Yunfei beside him. The neon light and shadow flickered on her face, and the look of dazed unease in her eyes diminished slightly. I turned on my computer and swore to write 4 chapters, but I didn't expect to overestimate myself. I'll work harder tomorrow. Chapter 73. You've rubbed off all my makeup. Due to traffic, the 1 kilometer distance took a full half-hour of waiting. Song Yunfei got in the car and took out her phone to check her makeup. It had already started to oxidize a bit from the heat in such a short time. Putting her phone away, Song Yunfei sighed, closed her eyes, and took a short nap. Anyway, they wouldn't reach the place without at least an hour of traffic. The car's constant stopping and swaying actually lulled her to sleep. It was Chu Jinan who woke her up. Song Yunfei instinctively rubbed her eyes and looked outside sleepily. Are we there? We're here. This restaurant looked decently decorated. Although it couldn't compare to a 5-star establishment, it was still considered one of the better ones in Qingcheng. As they reached the entrance, Song Yunfei couldn't help but ask again, Did you tell them you were bringing me? It was President He who specifically asked me to bring you. Don't worry, other people's family members are here too. Song Yunfei let out an, Oh, alright then, that puts me at ease. Just as she was about to step inside, Chu Jinan stopped her. Wait. What's wrong? There's something on your eye. As he spoke, Chu Jinan very considerately reached out and helped her peel off the thing on her eye. Seeing the item in his hand, Song Yun-fei's mouth twitched. He had pulled off her double eyelid tape. There's some here too. Quote. With the double eyelid tape from both eyes removed by him, Song Yun-fei looked at him speechlessly. Seeing her resentful gaze, Chu Jinan instinctively looked at the double eyelid tape in his hand. Then, he silently tried to stick it back on for her. However, his technique was poor, it was either crooked or placed too high. After struggling for a while, he became so flustered that a layer of sweat broke out on his forehead. He finally managed to place it correctly, but it wouldn't stick anymore, with both ends constantly curling up. Song Yun-fei pushed his hand away. Enough, stop trying. You've rubbed off all my makeup. Song Yun-fei took out her phone, turned on the front camera, and saw that her eye makeup had been smeared into what looked like dark circles. She felt utterly dismayed. She glared at Chu Jinan, gritting her teeth. A flicker of extremely rare helplessness crossed Chu Jinan's face. Sorry. Forget it. She waved her hand in resignation, rummaged in her bag for a wet wipe, and removed her makeup while looking at her phone. Then she went to the restroom inside, washed her face, and cleaned off all the makeup. It seemed he really hadn't paid much attention to the original owner before, not even knowing what double eyelid tape was. Chu Jinan waited outside the restroom. When she came out, he said, "You look better like this anyway." Song Yun-fei gave him a strange look, then found it somewhat amusing. He was trying to make up for it. The two arrived at the private room. The door was slightly ajar, and it was very lively inside. But before they entered, they heard President He's voice from inside. "I'm reminding you all, later when that guy, Little Chu, brings his girlfriend, some of you need to rein in those starry-eyed looks. And don't crowd around him." Someone voiced dissatisfaction. "Who's being starry-eyed?" "President He, don't talk nonsense. Especially you. I've seen you several times during work hours watching videos of men changing clothes on your phone. Aren't the men online enough for you? Now you are setting your sights on a colleague. That's called transformation content, not just changing clothes. No matter how handsome the guys online are, you can't touch them. The ones in real life you actually can." Wang Qiang said. "President He is right. You women act like you've never seen a man before. If his girlfriend gets upset later, Little Chu will have to take time off to go home and comfort her, delaying work. Be careful or President He will dock your pay." President He's reminder wasn't without reason. He still remembered the first company dinner. Those female employees were like dogs seeing a bone, trying every possible way to get close to Chu Jinan. And then they happened to run into Chu Jinan's girlfriend checking in on him. She was on a video call, and some with ill intentions deliberately moved into the camera frame. After that, Chu Jinan never attended another company dinner. Not only that, but he also deleted all the contact information of his female colleagues overnight. Several female colleagues suffered unjustly, unable to contact him when they needed to for work, which infuriated them. No need to guess, this was all his girlfriend's doing. Although everyone complained about his girlfriend in private, saying they disliked her, in their hearts, they actually hated that they weren't Song Yun-fei. Hearing them discussing her and Chu Jinan, Song Yun-fei instinctively glanced at the man beside her. Am I really that detestable? Chu Jinan turned to look at her, reached out, and took her hand. They're talking nonsense. Don't listen. Song Yun-fei only knew she had a bad reputation at his company, but she hadn't realized she was this notorious. However, she had a good mindset. After years in interior design, her temper had long been worn down by clients. Compared to these people's gossip, she was more worried about Chu Jinan disliking it. It's fine, I don't mind. She also held Chu Jinan's hand. Let's go in. The moment the two entered, the previously noisy private room suddenly fell silent. Including family members, there were about 30 people, all looking toward the door in unison. Chu Jinan, holding her hand, walked in with complete composure. President He raised his hand to greet them. Come, you two sit here. To ensure a smooth dinner, President He had specifically reserved the seats next to him for them, to prevent any mischief from others. Although he was the boss, aside from work matters, he couldn't enforce people's morals, so he could only try to avoid problems. Seeing that almost everyone had arrived, President He asked Hu Yao to call the server to start serving the dishes. Song Yanfei sat quietly beside Chu Jinan, not daring to speak. Since many people had brought family members, everyone at the table was somewhat restrained, and the atmosphere wasn't very lively. Only the few salespeople were bragging. Especially that Wang Qiang, who started boasting about everything under the sun after a few drinks. Unexpectedly, Song Yanfei heard some gossip about President He from Wang Qiang. Turns out President He was divorced, and his ex-wife was that Wang Xinjung. Yes, the same one who had tried to steal his client at the exhibition before. The two had started the business together, but during the startup phase, they often argued due to disagreements, which eventually led to a divorce in a fit of anger. To prove she was right, his ex-wife took the assets from the divorce settlement and immediately started her own garment factory. Since they were husband and wife, they had previously shared clients. So, after Wang Xinjung opened her factory, she poached most of the clients. This caused the profits of President He's factory to decline day by day. Combined with the increasing competitiveness in the industry, President He's factory was on the verge of closing. Touching on the painful subject, President He couldn't help but sigh and wipe away tears. That woman is no good. On the day of the divorce, she even took the bed and uninstalled the toilet. In the middle of winter, I went back to sleep on the floor and had nowhere to go to the bathroom. Clearly, everyone was numb to these stories. It seemed he had told them more than once. Wang Qiang said, women should just stay home properly. Just give them money, that's all. Otherwise, if they go out to work, they'll find every other man outside is better than their own husband. Someone retorted, and you men aren't the ones who love a new one every time you see one. Only useless men worry about their wives being lured away. After the female colleague said this, Chu Jinan, who was rinsing his bowl with hot water, instinctively looked up at her. Chapter 74, Feeling Worse Than a Breakup. As the two of them spoke, others joined in, and it felt like a fight was about to break out at any moment. Manager He quickly stood up to mediate. All right, why are we bringing these things up? Whenever matters between men and women were involved, the atmosphere became incredibly tense, and now no one dared to speak. Song Yanfei buried her head in her food, turning a deaf ear to everything else. Perhaps seeing that the atmosphere was too awkward, Manager He invited everyone to a second venue, hoping to smooth over the relationships between colleagues. He had made some money recently, otherwise, he wouldn't have been so generous. Before, team dinners were always at the small eateries across from the industrial zone. This street was considered the commercial center of Kangcheng, and a KTV was located not far away. Once the alcohol and fruit platters arrived, Manager He took the lead by singing 2 songs. Only then did the atmosphere among the group relax again, and they resumed chatting and laughing. Song Yanfei watched on, clicking her tongue in amazement. Hu Yao picked several songs in a row for herself to show off her vocal skills. It was unclear whether she only knew how to sing English songs or if she was doing it on purpose, but every song she selected was in English. But credit where credit is due, she actually had some talent. As she sang, she kept glancing over at Song Yanfei. Chu Jinan and Song Yanfei sat there without singing or playing games. They felt somewhat out of place, and they weren't looking at her either. Only when someone invited them to drink did they pick up their glasses for a sip. Hu Yao felt like she was throwing flirtatious glances at a blind person, and she got so angry that she threw down the microphone and stopped singing. Song Yanfei asked, "Aren't you going to sing a couple of songs?" Chu Jinan said, "No." After that, he added, "Don't you like to sing? Now you have the chance." Quote. Song Yunfei glared at him. He really knew how to bring up the one thing she wanted to forget. She had finally managed to put it out of her mind. Once those people got tired of shaking dice, someone suggested playing Truth or Dare. Song Yunfei was so startled she almost wanted to run away on the spot. If they played that, she would probably drink herself to death here tonight. Fortunately, more than half of the people didn't want to play. After all, they were just colleagues. What was the point? Perhaps because they had brought family members along, everyone seemed to play with little enthusiasm, as if they couldn't muster any interest. They endured until nearly midnight before the group finally broke up and everyone headed home. Song Yunfei had had a few drinks, and her head was spinning. She had wanted to go back and sleep for a long time. As soon as the gathering ended, she and Chu Jinan were the first to leave. Once they were in the taxi, Song Yunfei couldn't help but ask, "Was it like this when you had dinners with them before?" "Pretty much. I thought it was because I was here today that you couldn't relax." Chu Jinan glanced at her. "In your eyes, I'm that kind of person." Song Yunfei was stunned for a moment. "No, look at you, why are you always so serious?" "I was just asking casually." Chu Jinan fell silent and stopped speaking. Song Yunfei finally understood. This guy really couldn't take a joke at all. Having nothing to do, she took out her phone to see if anyone had placed an order with her. After unlocking it, she discovered that Bai Yu had sent her several messages. Song Yunfei didn't see clearly what the messages were, only noticing several transfers at the end. Then, subconsciously, she shifted her eyes to peek at the person beside her. Seeing Chu Jinan looking out the window, Song Yunfei then took a careful look at the transfers. 52, 1314, 5200, 13140. Gasp! He was actually using money to test her. Song Yunfei became entirely melancholy, looking up out the window as she fought an internal battle. This look was a mistake. She almost threw her phone out. Because on the glass of the car window, she saw her own reflection, and also Chu Jinan's reflection. Which meant, Song Yunfei stiffly turned her head and aimed a glance at the glass window on Chu Jinan's side. Wow, her phone screen was so bright, and those transfers were so conspicuous. Even though the man still appeared to be looking out the window, Song Yunfei knew his gaze was definitely on her phone screen. Fortunately, she hadn't impulsively accepted the money just now. Song Yunfei silently withdrew her gaze, lowered her head to pick up her phone, and began typing with a pained expression. "Don't send me transfers anymore, I'm not that vain. Even if you transfer $1 million to me, I won't want it." As those two messages were sent, Song Yunfei felt a piercing pain in her heart, worse than a breakup. She didn't know what a breakup felt like, but it certainly couldn't be more painful than this. In less than a minute, Bai Yu replied to her, "But you just asked me to borrow $1 million this afternoon, you don't want it anymore. I was just about to transfer it to you." Quote. It was impossible for Song Yunfei to believe him. If he were going to transfer it, he would have done so long ago. She took a deep breath, her finger almost poking a hole in the phone screen. "No. Transfer. 30,000. The limit was reached. I'll transfer more to you tomorrow." Song Yunfei's eyes went wide instantly, but following that was a mix of grief and indignation. He was absolutely doing this on purpose. Subconsciously, she looked up at Chu Jinan again. And then, their eyes met. This time she didn't hesitate. She withdrew her gaze as if nothing were wrong, picked up her phone, clicked on the transfers, clicked return, and deleted the chat box. Out of sight, out of mind. Compared to money, staying alive was more important. She turned and flashed a smile at Chu Jinan. Chu Jinan was expressionless, staring at her without blinking. After they stared at each other for 3 seconds, Song Yunfei picked up her phone again, steeled her heart, clicked on Bai Yu's avatar, and deleted him as a friend. She smiled and said, "Is this okay now?" "Chu Jinan, I didn't say anything." "Even though you didn't say anything, I can't just do nothing. If I were in your position, I would feel very bad in my heart. She spoke with such sincerity, as if she had truly thought of that scenario, her face full of sadness. But Chu Jinan just looked at her quietly. After a long while, he spoke without much emotion, whether you delete him or not is your freedom. Whatever you choose is also your freedom. Song Yunfei's lip twitched. His indifferent manner made her previous behavior look like that of a clown. Really? Then I'll add him back. Quote. What did not speaking mean? He agreed. Song Yunfei took it as his agreement. At the very least, she had to get the 300,000, no, the 32,174, back. She picked up her phone, about to add the person back. But her finger hung a centimeter above the screen, unable to move. Looking closely, it was Chu Jinan who had grabbed her wrist. She looked up in surprise, meeting Chu Jinan's gaze at close range. His eyes were still deep and calm, but deep within them, something seemed to stir slightly, making Song Yunfei's heart tighten for some reason. You. Just as Song Yunfei was about to speak, the taxi suddenly shook violently and came to a screeching halt. She pitched forward abruptly, but Chu Jinan's arm gripped the seat in front of her, and her head bumped against the man's arm. Whoa! The driver in front clicked his tongue. That almost turned into a major accident. Song Yunfei collected herself and looked up. It turned out that at the turn ahead, a small car had swerved sharply to avoid an electric bike that had darted out, and failing to brake in time, it had crashed into the guardrail. Moreover, it had drifted right across the front of their taxi. The one riding the electric bike was a delivery man. Both he and his bike had fallen to the ground. Only then did Song Yunfei realize in hindsight how dangerous it had been. If the driver had braked even 2 seconds later, they would likely have collided with that car. Still shaken, she patted her chest and turned to look at Chu Jinan. Are you okay? Chu Jinan's gaze was fixed through the front windshield, staring intently at the car that had smashed the guardrail. He seemed as if his pressure points had been struck, or like he had lost his soul, just staring straight ahead like that. Song Yunfei could feel his breathing becoming rapid, his eyes flickering, and even the knuckles of his fingers gripping the seat were turning white. Could it be? He saw a familiar scene and remembered something. Looking at his tense expression, a wave of unease also rose in Song Yunfei's heart. Or rather, it was fear. Even at this moment, Song Yunfei herself didn't know. Was she afraid he would remember their diametrically opposed past and fall into an irredeemable ending? Or was she afraid that once all the lies were exposed and the complete Chu Jinan returned, this illusory time built on deception would turn into a joke and a disgrace? She could not see through everyone's heart and could only use the ending in the book as an important reference. Chapter 75. Seeing you in pain makes my heart ache. Sorry about that, are you two okay? The driver asked the two in the back after finishing the calls to the ambulance and the police. Song Yunfei shook her head. We're fine, let's go. Alright then, sit tight. The taxi slowly started up and left the scene as quickly as possible. Seeing that he was still dazed, Song Yunfei reached out a finger and poked his shoulder. Chu Jinan, are you okay? Chu Jinan. Before Chu Jinan could snap out of it, Bai Yu's call came through first. Clearly, he had discovered that Song Yunfei had deleted him as a friend. Song Yunfei had no time for him right now. Seeing that her phone was on silent, she turned to the driver and said, Sir, please change the destination to the hospital. Alright, is your boyfriend in shock? Through the rearview mirror, the driver saw Chu Jinan's gaze was blank and unfocused, looking very much like someone who had been scared witless. Maybe. Song Yunfei gave a forced smile, her heart racing with anxiety. If she had known, she would have taken the 32,174 just now, jumped out of the car on the spot, and bought a train ticket to flee overnight. If she couldn't get a ticket, she'd flee on an electric scooter. Just as she was feeling flustered, Chu Jinan let out a sigh. Song Yunfei immediately turned to look at his expression. He was rubbing his temples, his face showing a hint of pain. Chu Jinan, what's wrong? Don't scare me. After a moment, Chu Jinan rubbed his temples and whispered, some images just flashed through my mind. Quote. Then what did you remember? Nothing, it's too fragmented. He hadn't moved just now because he wanted to use those fragments to try and remember. He didn't expect that the more he thought, the more his head hurt, and even those few fragmented images were about to disappear. Song Yunfei continued to probe tentatively, unwilling to give up. Like what? Chu Jinan was silent for a moment before saying, there was a car. What else? High beams, the sound of brakes, and... He paused, recalling the images in his mind, the world spinning. As Chu Jinan spoke, he looked up at her. Have I been in a car accident before? Song Yunfei tensed up at his question. She opened her mouth to make something up, but seeing the blankness in his eyes and the suppressed pain, the lie got stuck in her throat and she couldn't say it. Regardless of what he was like when he was whole, at this moment, he was a blank and helpless soul. Song Yunfei's heart stirred, and she suddenly hugged him, pressing her face tightly against his chest. It's so good that you are okay. You scared me to death just now. I thought something had happened to you. Her voice carried a sob. She had probably been genuinely frightened by Chu Jinan's reaction just now, and the tears came easily. Anyone who has died once knows that they are even more afraid of dying a second time. Chu Jinan froze in place, looking down at the woman in his arms. Tears dripped onto his shirt, soaking in bit by bit and slowly spreading over his heart. Despite his many doubts, they gradually faded away under the sound of her sobbing. He raised his hand and put it around Song Yunfei's shoulder. I'm fine. The driver glanced through the rearview mirror and clicked his tongue, thinking to himself that young people these days were so easily frightened. It was one thing for a young girl to be timid, but for a grown man to be this scared too. Song Yunfei leaned against his chest for a while before looking up to observe his expression. If you can't remember, then don't think about it. Seeing you in pain makes my heart ache. Chu Jinan looked down at her. After a moment of silence, he raised his hand and used his thumb to wipe away the tears from the corner of her eye, responding softly, okay. In the dim interior of the car, with the two of them looking at each other from such a close distance, Song Yunfei's heart skipped a beat for some reason. You two be careful now, don't go messing around in my car. As soon as the driver spoke, Song Yunfei immediately sprang away from Chu Jinan's embrace and moved to the far side, sitting pressed against the car door. Chu Jinan said to the driver, there's no need to go to the hospital. Go to the previous address. The driver rolled his eyes but said nothing and made a U-turn. Anyway, he charged by the distance. As long as he got paid, it was fine. Soon, the taxi arrived downstairs. The two of them got out and returned to the apartment. Song Yunfei felt that he still seemed preoccupied. She wanted to say something but didn't know where to start. After entering the room, Song Yunfei saw Quan Quan run out of the bathroom, jumping around the two of them. She suddenly slapped her forehead. Oh no, I didn't take him out to the bathroom today. With that, she hurried to the bathroom. She was shocked to find that the little thing had actually done its business in the squat toilet. Song Yunfei turned back in astonishment, pointing at Quan Quan. Has he become a spirit? You taught him before. But I only taught him twice. Can he remember it at such a small age? I don't know. Although she had seen many smart dogs online before, the comments always said they were trained. These past few days, she hadn't trained Quan Quan in anything other than sitting, lying down, and shaking hands. Song Yunfei didn't dwell on it. She flushed the waste down the toilet and then carried Quan Quan back to the bathroom, rewarding him with a bath. Quan Quan was good at everything else, but he was terrible when it came to bathing. She couldn't handle him alone, so she had to call Chu Jinan to help. Giving Quan Quan a bath was like fighting a war. She and Chu Jinan were splashed with water all over, and their hair became clumped together. Song Yanfei squatted on the floor, washing him while saying, "I'll have to search for tutorials online later to see how to make him behave during a bath." Chu Jinan stared at her. The air conditioning didn't reach the bathroom, and the water droplets and sweat on her face mixed together, sliding down her chin. Her hair, which was tied loosely behind her head, was a bit messy, and the strands falling on both sides of her cheeks were covered with water droplets and foam. He watched as she complained to herself while her hands didn't stop moving, and the dog in her hands was also struggling to escape. Sensing his gaze, Song Yanfei flicked her hand, sending foam onto his face and white shirt. "What are you looking at? The dog is about to escape." Chu Jinan turned his head to dodge, but he was a step too late and couldn't avoid it. A clump of foam happened to land on his philtrum, making the handsome man look like he had a mustache. Song Yanfei couldn't hold it in and burst out laughing. "Ha ha, that's too funny." Chu Jinan raised his hand to wipe it off, but his movement paused halfway as his gaze fell on the woman laughing uncontrollably. Song Yanfei stopped washing the dog and hurriedly grabbed her phone from the sink, opening the camera to take a picture of him. This time, Chu Jinan was quick and raised his arm to block himself. Song Yanfei didn't get a photo of the lower half of his face and said with some annoyance, "Put your hand down." She grabbed Chu Jinan's arm, trying to pull it away. "Stop fooling around. Let me take one photo, hurry up." Quote. Chu Jinan simply wiped the foam off his face. "No fun." Song Yanfei curled her lips, but looking closely, she saw that she had tapped on the video recording instead of the photo button. She had still recorded a second of it. She gave Chu Jinan a mysterious smile and put the phone back. With the corners of her mouth turned up, she continued bathing Quan. The light in the bathroom was yellowish and dim, and the space was cramped and small. The two of them squatting inside almost filled the entire room. The hot and humid space was given an incongruous warmth by this most ordinary scene. Chapter 76. Whose boyfriend is this, so hard-working? After finishing most of the washing, Song Yanfei shoved Quan into his arms. "All right, you go blow dry him. I'm going to take a shower, it's so hot." Chu Jinan held Quan with one hand and got up to leave the bathroom. After her shower, Song Yanfei leaned against the headboard, picked up her phone, and glanced at it. Bai Yu had called her 10 times and sent 2 text messages. "Did you delete me? You're really something, Song Yanfei." Seeing his last message, Song Yanfei felt an inexplicable chill in her heart. He seemed a little angry. After much hesitation, she still replied to him, "It wasn't me who deleted you. I lost a game of truth or dare with colleagues and had to delete the top contact. Who told you to message me right then?" A minute later, a text popped up again, "Add me back." "Song Yanfei, why aren't you asleep yet?" "Bai Yu, I'm on duty. Add me back right now, or I'll tell Chu Jinan the truth tomorrow." Song Yanfei glanced at the bathroom and grew a bit anxious. "You were an accomplice too. What good would telling him do for you?" "Bai Yu, to me, nothing is more important than you." Song Yanfei curled her lip in disdain. He said it like he meant it. She'd go get plastic surgery someday and see if he'd still say such things. "Song Yanfei, then you're not allowed to message or call me at night anymore." "Bai Yu, so you like this sneaky feeling?" "Okay. What sneaky feeling?" Song Yanfei thought this guy was also crazy. He's a neurosurgeon, why doesn't he check his own head? Song Yanfei sighed and meekly added him back again, then deleted the chat history. After adding him, Bai Yu transferred 5 yuan to her. Song Yanfei rubbed her eyes and counted carefully several times, suspecting she might be too sleepy and missed a zero. In the end, she confirmed it was really 50 yuan. Song Yanfei laughed speechlessly. But she still accepted it. No one could see a transfer notification and resist clicking it. "Bai Yu, so you like this kind of small change?" "Transfer, 0.5. Song Yunfei felt that a character like Bai Yu, in a fantasy world, would absolutely be a prodigy of the sword path. She remembered from the original work's memories that Bai Yu wasn't like this. Was it just that the filter was too heavy? Song Yunfei decided to take back her previous praise about him being outstanding. Then, expressionlessly, she set his messages to "Do not disturb." Just as she finished these tasks, Chu Jinin came out of the bathroom. She subtly swiped her phone, switching to a video app. Her video feed recommendations had been brushed back to normal now, no longer filled with motivational quotes or handsome guys. It had changed to things like hoof trimming, carpet cleaning, gaming, and medical science popularization. Pretending to scroll through a few videos, she yawned and smoothly lay down. Chu Jinin sat down by the headboard and glanced at her. Then he looked at Quan Quan curled up beside her. Probably having been pushed off too many times, Quan Quan now slept on the inside, no longer lying between the two of them. He turned off the light, plunging the room into darkness. Morning. Song Yunfei was awakened by her alarm. Opening her eyes, she found breakfast already made. On the balcony, Chu Jinin was hanging laundry. Previously, when she was on vacation, she'd set the washing machine timer and do the laundry after getting up. Now that she was working, she had to wash clothes early, otherwise they'd get smelly sitting in the machine. Looking at the figure on the balcony, Song Yunfei felt somewhat guilty. But since he had already finished hanging everything, there was nothing for her to do. Might as well just offer a few compliments. Whose boyfriend is this, so hardworking? Oh, it's mine. Wow, I'm so lucky. Probably because they'd spent enough time together and she'd grown more comfortable with him, she could easily spout flattery without thinking. I must have saved the galaxy in my past life to have such a perfect boyfriend. A man who does housework really is the most charming. Chu Jinin looked at her exaggerated, admiring expression, fell silent for 2 seconds, and his expression also turned slightly unnatural. It's all just small things, he said, then turned and walked back into the room with an aloof air. Song Yunfei followed behind him. How can these be small things? There's a saying in the Tao Te Ching. Great events under heaven are rooted in the small. Li Si also said. Mount Tai does not reject the soil, thus it can achieve its greatness. Rivers and seas do not discriminate against the small streams, thus they can achieve their depth. You definitely look like someone destined for great things. Chu Jinin's steps halted, and he looked at her suspiciously. Song Yunfei instinctively shut her mouth. Of course, she didn't think Chu Jinin didn't understand the meaning, but rather that he was suspicious of how someone with her persona, who had dropped out of school in middle school, could say such things. She cleared her throat and forced an explanation. Saw it online. Chu Jinin looked at her for a moment longer but didn't say anything else. Let's eat. Song Yunfei secretly breathed a sigh of relief. She had overdone the flattery, hitting the horse's belly instead, and the horse nearly ran away. After eating, they went to work. Not long after Song Yunfei entered the office, Zhang Tao greeted her with a beaming smile. Little Song, how was your rest these past few days? Seeing his smiling face, Song Yunfei immediately became wary. It was good. What's up, Manager Zhang? Are you going to give me a few more days off? Zhang Tao chuckled. I wanted to ask you, how is the follow-up on old Madam Chen's house going? Second-hand houses are more profitable than new ones. You can earn from both the seller and the buyer. Now that there was a buyer for the house, Zhang Tao was naturally anxious. Song Yunfei, wasn't I on vacation? I didn't follow up. Then you should go follow up quickly. Mr. Wu is also anxious. The buyer is quite eager. Try to close the deal this month, otherwise they might go buy another house. Song Yunfei was puzzled. Why is the client so set on buying this particular house? Zhang Tao sighed. It's not that they're absolutely set on it. Mainly, they like the yard. The client is buying it for their parents to help take care of the kids. The ground floor is convenient for the elderly to get in and out. Plus, the transportation is good, and it's close to the school. Most importantly, the client's parents keep a flock of chickens and ducks in the countryside and can't bear to sell them. That yard would be just perfect for raising chickens. Song Yunfei hesitated a bit. She told Zhang Tao about old Madam Chen's family situation, trying to appeal to his conscience and get him to drop this deal. But Zhang Tao said, "Why do you care so much? You are a real estate agent. Do your job well, serving the client is your task. You're not running a charity. There are so many pitiful people in the world, can you take care of them all?" This left Song Yunfei speechless. Remembering the 10 houses she had sold, Zhang Tao softened his tone a little. "If you don't want to do it, I'll assign someone else." "I'll try again," Song Yunfei sighed. Today was payday, so it was better not to provoke him and risk him deducting her salary. She would just drag it out a bit longer. Once the client bought another house, Zhang Tao probably wouldn't be so anxious anymore. Song Yunfei returned to her workstation, planning to make a visit later. Unexpectedly, Chen Wan called her. Song Yunfei quickly answered the phone. "Hello, Wangwen. Senior, are you free today?" "Yes, I am. Is something the matter?" Chen Wan fell silent on the phone for a moment, then sighed. "It's about the house. I'll tell you more when I come over later." Chapter 77, Doing Meaningful Things in Limited Time. Song Yunfei hung up the phone, skipped even the company culture session, went straight out, and rode her electric scooter to find Chen Wan. She did a lot of running around outside, so Chu Jinan had left the electric scooter for her, taking the bus to work himself. Having an electric scooter was indeed much more convenient, and she arrived at old Madam Chen's place in no time. Chen Wan opened the door for her but didn't let her in, instead pulling Song Yunfei outside to talk. Seeing her all mysterious, Song Yunfei asked, "What's wrong? Did something happen?" Chen Wan lowered her head in silence, a trace of guilt on her face. "Auntie says she wants to give the house to me." Oh, that's good." Song Yunfei was only briefly surprised before quickly understanding. It turned out something had happened during her days off. That Wu Qin had come back, mainly to persuade the old lady to sell the house again. But Chen Wan was there, and Wu Qin suspected the old lady intended to give the house to her. Chen Wan had wanted to intervene, but ended up getting slapped by Wu Qin. The old lady also got furious and, probably speaking in anger at the time, said she would indeed give the house to Chen Wan. Later, a neighbor called the police, and only then did Wu Qin leave indignantly. Chen Wan also thought it was just angry words, but last night, the old lady very seriously told her she wanted to transfer the house title to Chen Wan's name. Chen Wan was now feeling conflicted, which is why she sought out Song Yunfei to help her think of a solution. She actually didn't want the house, because once she got it, Wu Qin would definitely cause trouble for her later, maybe even sue her. Secondly, once she went out to work, if Wu Qin came back to bother her aunt again, she would be too far away to help. Song Yunfei said, "So, what are you thinking?" Chen Wan said, "I actually want to sell the house, take auntie away from here, and go to where I work. But I'm afraid she'll misunderstand. And I'm also worried that if we sell it and auntie can't get used to living there and wants to come back, she'll have nowhere to live." Song Yunfei could understand. After all, Wu Qin had just tried to sell the house, and if Chen Wan got the house and then sold it too, it would be easy for the old lady to mistake her for being the same as Wu Qin. Song Yunfei pondered and said, "Well, you could rent it out. That way, you'd have money to take the old lady to live over there. If she wants to come back later, the house would still be there, and you wouldn't have to worry about her misunderstanding." Chen Wan was stunned for a moment, then her eyes lit up. "Right, how did I not think of that? That's a great idea. I'll go talk to auntie later." "Thank you, senior." Song Yunfei smiled. "You're welcome. I'll go discuss it with auntie. As for the renting matters later, I'll have to trouble you, senior, to put in more effort." "No problem. Call me anytime once you've settled things." Song Yunfei sighed. It's a good thing Grandma Chen has you. But your job isn't stable yet, and she definitely wouldn't want to burden you. Have you thought about how to convince her? Chen Wan remained silent for a long time before speaking wistfully. The length of a human life is uncertain. Precisely because our time is limited, we should do more things we find meaningful. So that when we look back later, it's not full of regrets and remorse. I'll try my best to persuade her, take her away from this place of sad memories, change the environment, and spend the days ahead with her properly. If I've done my utmost, even if the outcome isn't ideal, at least I tried, and my heart will be more at peace. Song Yunfei stood rooted to the spot, Chen Wan's words seeming to strike a chord in her heart. This inevitably made her recall that saying, is it more regrettable to never have had something, or to have had it and then lost it? Seeing her silent and distracted for so long, Chen Wan couldn't help but call out, "Senior." Song Yunfei snapped back to reality and forced a smile. "What is it?" "Nothing. Do you want to come in and sit for a bit?" Song Yunfei shook her head. "No. You go ahead and discuss with Grandma Chen. I won't disturb you." "Okay, then I'll treat you to a meal later." The two chatted a bit more before Song Yunfei left the residential area and rode her electric scooter back to the sales office. After returning, she felt somewhat distracted. Xiu Shuang came over and told her that Li Shan had asked for 2 days off and hadn't come to work. Everyone was gossiping, saying her boyfriend had found another girlfriend and was ignoring her. Song Yunfei wasn't interested in this. She was in a better mood with Li Shan not around. She went to find manager Zhang Tao to discuss whether they could have that buyer sign a rental contract instead, making everyone happy. The buyer would rent the desired house, they would earn their commission, and the old lady wouldn't be harassed anymore. Manager Zhang Tao rubbed his chin, thinking for a long time. If they really couldn't persuade the old lady, and things fell through on both ends, Song Yunfei's suggestion wasn't bad at all. "All right then, I'll talk to that buyer. If we can work it out, it's fine. But can you persuade the old lady to rent it out?" Song Yunfei felt a surge of joy and nodded. It shouldn't be a problem. Just based on what Chen Wan had said, she believed Chen Wan could persuade the old lady. Sometimes, what's good for someone isn't necessarily what they want. The old lady should be able to understand that. After their discussion, manager Zhang Tao picked up his phone to call that buyer about the rental. Watching him communicate with the other party, Song Yunfei clicked her tongue in admiration. No wonder he was the manager. A few sentences were enough to convince the other party completely. The buyer agreed, but said the lease had to be for at least 3 years. Manager Zhang Tao assured them he would definitely arrange it. After hanging up, manager Zhang Tao said to Song Yunfei, "You heard that, at least 3 years. I've already boasted I can do it, so you better handle this properly." Song Yunfei smiled. "Don't worry." She thought this deal was going to fall through, but unexpectedly, things took a turn for the better. Although the earnings were less, it was better than nothing. Close to the end of the workday in the afternoon, her salary of 1,500 also arrived in her account. Her depleted wallet finally swelled up a little again. Every time she remembered last night's 32,174, her heart felt as if cut by a knife. She wasn't even that happy about getting off work. Sitting on her electric scooter, she thought for a moment, then turned around to pick up Chu Jinan. Before, when the scooter was with Chu Jinan, he would pick her up after work. Now it was her turn to pick him up. Arriving at the industrial park entrance, Song Yunfei parked her scooter by the roadside. Just as she was about to send Chu Jinan a message, she turned her head and saw a familiar person squatting across the street. It was none other than Wu Wei. She put away her phone and walked towards Wu Wei. Wu Wei was squatting on the ground, looking at his phone and grinning foolishly, completely unaware that Song Yunfei had arrived. "Wu Wei, what are you doing here?" Wu Wei was startled. Looking up, he jumped to his feet. "Sister Song, are you here to find Brother Chu too?" Song Yunfei was suspicious. Brother Chu, you were looking for him too. Wait, when did you two get so close? Wu Wei rubbed his hands excitedly. Yeah, Brother Chu is amazing, as expected of a master. In less than 10 days, he helped me earn 150,000. 150,000. I never dreamed I could make that much money. So, I came specifically to wait for him. I have to treat him to a meal. Since you're here, why don't we go together? Looking at his excited expression, Song Yanfei felt an ominous premonition. How did he help you earn the money? Chapter 78. Chapter 78. Thank you, I like it. Wu Wei said without any reservation. How else would I earn it? Of course, by trading stocks. Going at this rate, I can double it again tomorrow. I'm not far from buying that Bentley. Song Yanfei's eyelid twitched. Was this how he was playing it? Not letting him trade stocks himself, but having others do it for him. His comprehension skills were truly top-notch. But could you say he was trading stocks himself? It seemed like he really wasn't. Song Yanfei sighed helplessly. Forget it, let him be. She didn't want to dwell on this anymore either. What was meant to come couldn't be stopped, just like last night. Did he say when he'd be out? Wu Wei shook his head. No, he doesn't even reply to my messages. Basically, only Chu Jinan contacted him. If Wu Wei wanted to find Chu Jinan, it was impossible. Otherwise, he wouldn't be squatting here. Wu Wei, having nothing better to do, started blowing smoke. The stock he bought the day before yesterday was doing exceptionally well. Chu Jinan suddenly messaged him telling him to sell. Wu Wei was a bit reluctant, but trusting the expert, he decisively sold. Sure enough, within less than 30 minutes, it plummeted, almost dropping back to the entry price, giving Wu Wei a cold sweat. Song Yanfei didn't understand and didn't want to listen. She took out her phone and called Chu Jinan. Chu Jinan had been extremely busy these days. The equipment for the new workshop had just been set up and started running. Many workers were new, and with it being a new partner, he had to keep an eye on quality too. But he answered the phone very quickly. Song Yanfei asked, when are you getting off work? Right away. Oh, I'm at your industrial park gate. I ran into Wu Wei too. He says he wants to treat you to a meal. Are you going? After Song Yanfei finished speaking, an eerie silence fell over the phone call. After a good while, Chu Jinan's voice came through. What did he tell you? Nothing much, just that he's grateful to you. I never thought you two would become this close. Chu Jinan had said something similar to her before. Now it was reversed. Even though they were separated by the phone, Song Yanfei could feel the silence and awkwardness on the other end. Quote. I'm off work now, coming out right away. With that, the call ended. Wu Wei asked from the side, so, did Brother Chu agree to go? Song Yanfei glanced at him. I think you should leave first. Otherwise, you might get beaten up in a bit. Wu Wei was stunned, his face full of confusion. Why, I haven't offended him. I just want to treat him to a meal. Then wait and see. Wu Wei hesitated. He looked at Song Yanfei's expression, which seemed amused and ready to watch a show, then at the industrial park gate. Then I'll go first. Goodbye, Sister Song. In the end, he gritted his teeth, decisively turned around, got on a three-wheeler by the roadside, and puttered away. Not long after Wu Wei left, Chu Jinan came out. He first looked at Song Yanfei, then scanned the surroundings for Wu Wei's trace. Where is he? He had something to do and left first. He'll treat you next time. Song Yanfei caught the murderous glint in his eyes and thought Wu Wei was lucky to have run fast. She went to take Chu Jinan's hand. All right, let's go back. I'm hungry. Chu Jinan withdrew his gaze and looked at Song Yanfei a few more times, as if confirming something. Seeing Song Yanfei's smiling face, his expression returned to normal. They rode the electric scooter home, bought groceries at the market, then Chu Jinan rode to the courier station to pick up a package. Such a big box. What's in it? Song Yunfei asked curiously. Chu Jinan said, a chair. Why buy a chair? Chu Jinan placed the box on the footrest in front and looked back at her. It's a computer chair. Song Yunfei was stunned. They had bought a computer desk before, but not a computer chair. She had been using the computer sitting on a stool. She never expected him to have noticed this. Moved yet puzzled, Song Yunfei asked, but where did you get the money? Did you get another pay advance? No. Then, Hubei. Quote. Who could understand the redemptive feeling of hearing those two words from a former CEO's mouth? Because he had changed his phone number and bank card, all his payment apps were registered with the new number and linked to the new card. If he logged in with his old number, he'd probably be scared to death by the balance on it. Fortunately, Song Yunfei didn't know his old number, or she might not be able to resist secretly logging in, taking the money, and running away. Song Yunfei tried hard to swallow her laughter and sighed. I already said I'd give your salary card back to you. Chu Jinan said, the salary card has no money either. Alright, Song Yunfei had nothing more to say. Chu Jinan, who previously would rather die than take an online loan, had ultimately embarked on this path of no return. After arriving home, Chu Jinan opened the box, took out the computer chair, and started assembling it. Song Yunfei very consciously went to the kitchen to cook. By the time she finished cooking, the chair was almost assembled. Song Yunfei eagerly sat down to try it. The quality felt good, it clearly wasn't cheap. She turned and asked Chu Jinan, how much did you spend? Chu Jinan said, 800. A bit pricey. If used long term, it was okay, but for occasional use, it wasn't very cost effective. Not wanting to let down the chair he bought using Hubei, Song Yunfei smiled and said, thank you, I like it very much. I got you a gift too, but it hasn't arrived yet. Chu Jinan's gaze lingered on her smiling eyes. What is it? You'll know when the time comes. Alright, let's eat quickly. Song Yunfei stood up from the chair and walked towards the dining table. After dinner, they took Quan Quan out for a walk. Song Yunfei shared the events of her day with him. Chu Jinan mostly listened silently, occasionally responding with a word or two. The streetlights cast a warm yellow light, lengthening and shortening the shadows of the two people and the dog. Song Yunfei also kept thinking of Chen Wan's words, stirring faint ripples in her heart. She didn't even feel like walking much longer. Around 9 o'clock, they returned home to wash up. Song Yunfei sat in front of the computer checking information when suddenly a loud commotion came from upstairs, sounding like someone setting off firecrackers. Listening carefully, she realized it was a couple arguing upstairs. You are always like this. You forget what you said the moment you turn around. I told you to focus on work, but you hang out with those people every day. We agreed to save money for a house, and you lent the money out. Are we getting married or not? What are you yelling about? It's just 20,000. Are you fucking obsessed with money? He's my best brother. If I don't lend it, who will? What about me? What about the child in my belly? You don't care anymore, is that it? Have you ever gotten back the money you lent out? How dare you say I don't care? Are you deliberately picking a fight? If we can make it work, fine. If not, let's break up. Hearing the argument upstairs, Song Yunfei felt inexplicably stifled. No longer in the mood to check information, she turned off the computer and went to lie down on the bed. Chu Jinan also came out after showering, clearly having heard the argument too. He sat silently on the bed. For a moment, neither spoke. The argument lasted about 10 minutes, accompanied by crashing sounds, ending with a door slam. Song Yunfei turned to look at him. Chu Jinan. Chu Jinan also turned his head, meeting her gaze. Before she could speak, he said first, we'll move after I get paid. Song Yunfei said, that's not what I was going to say. Then what were you going to say? Song Yunfei pondered. It's just hypothetically, if someone was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and the doctor said they had at most a year left. Should they just? Before she could finish, Chu Jinin abruptly sat up straight, a rare look of shock and panic in his eyes. Do you have a terminal illness? Quote. Chapter 79. Do you want to? Papa, what nonsense are you talking? Can't you wish me well? Song Yunfei glared at him in annoyance. Chu Jinin watched her intently for a long moment, his tense expression relaxing slightly. Then why are you saying this? There's no such thing as a pointless, but if, in this world, just like, I have a friend who. Song Yunfei couldn't help but poke his shoulder. I haven't even finished yet. Hurry up and, Pa, with me. Chu Jinin moved his lips slightly. He seemed unable to quite manage the, Pa. Song Yunfei stared at him unblinkingly. Several times she thought he was about to open his mouth, but in the end, he always backed down. Song Yunfei was amused by him and decided not to push him further. Alright, fine, I don't have a terminal illness. Let me ask a different question then. Ask. If you found yourself climbing a very dangerous mountain, currently halfway up, and going further up might make you fall and be smashed to pieces, but going down offers a sliver of hope for survival, what would you choose? Chu Jinin thought seriously for a moment, then counted, then why did I start climbing in the first place? Song Yunfei twitched the corner of her mouth. Well, let's say you climbed up by accident. Chu Jinin just looked at her like that, as if trying to see right through her. Song Yunfei felt her scalp prickle under his gaze, her eyes involuntarily darting away. Chu Jinin said, that depends on how valuable the thing on the mountain is to me. If it's completely useless, I'd choose to descend. If it's unique, something I'd never get another chance at if I missed it, I'd keep climbing, even knowing the end might be a bottomless abyss. Song Yunfei stared at him, stunned into momentary silence. After a good while, she finally spoke softly, but if that thing is fake, then at least I confirmed it with my own eyes. Until I see it for myself, it is real. His calm, steady voice sent ripples through Song Yunfei's heart. She gazed into the man's deep eyes, wordless. After a long pause, a smile blossomed at the corner of Song Yunfei's mouth. She leaned her head against his shoulder. Okay, I understand. Chu Jinin paused, then wrapped his arm around her shoulders. What's wrong with you? Nothing. Just watched too many short videos, scrambled my brain. You gained insights from watching carpet cleaning. Quote. Song Yunfei abruptly sat up straight and glared at him. You ruined the perfectly good mood. You peeked at my phone again. Song Yunfei angrily grabbed the pillow beside her and threw it at him. Chu Jinin caught the pillow she threw and defended himself. I was looking at the computer. Song Yunfei was taken aback. She was looking up information, though she did end up scrolling to other videos. But since she'd already said it, there was no way she'd admit she was wrong. Does that mean you can look at the computer? Don't you know what privacy is? Chu Jinin grasped her wrist. Then should I buy you a tent? You look more like a tent than anything. Song Yunfei didn't want to talk to him anymore. She turned over, ready to lie down and sleep. Realizing her pillow was still in his arms, she twisted around to grab it, but Chu Jinin held it farther away. Before Song Yunfei could speak, he suddenly pulled her into an embrace, drawing her close. Chu Jinin looked down at her, his voice low. Do you want to? Song Yunfei froze, her cheeks visibly flushing red, her voice growing much weaker. Want? What? The tent. His eyes were dark, carrying a hint of danger. The way those two words came from his mouth made them even more ambiguous. Song Yunfei's eyes darted away even more frantically. Who wants your stupid tent? Chu Jinin drew closer and closer, his voice dropping lower, his breath brushing against her cheek. If not the tent, then what do you want? You'd better mean a real tent. Then what did you think I meant? Song Yunfei reached out, pressed her hand against his forehead, and pushed him away. Stop messing around. Be careful or we'll get reported and thrown in the little dark room. Chu Jinan's face, which she had just pushed away, came close again. He kissed her lips. We're not even doing anything. Song Yunfei poked his chest and whispered, let's just go to sleep. Quan Quan crouched in the corner, staring straight at the two of them. Seeing them turn off the lights and lie down, it finally found a new spot to curl up. Song Yunfei woke up early and saw a message from Chen Wan. Her face lit up with joy, and she hurriedly jumped out of bed. Chen Wan had convinced old madam. The two of them were planning to move in the next few days, and Song Yunfei decided to go help them. Chu Jinan brought breakfast to the table. As they sat down, Song Yunfei picked up her chopsticks, ready to eat. Suddenly, her wrist was grabbed. What happened to your hand? Song Yunfei followed his gaze and only then noticed several rows of small red dots on her forearm, arranged like a square. She reached out a finger to touch them. They were a bit itchy and slightly painful. Song Yunfei couldn't tell either. I don't know. Could it be mite bites? Didn't we just wash the sheets? Chu Jinan took out his phone and searched online. After searching, he instinctively looked down to check both of his own hands. Great, he had them too. Seeing his grave expression, Song Yunfei couldn't help feeling uneasy. She asked nervously, did you find out what it is? Chu Jinan nodded slightly. What is it? Chu Jinan didn't say, but his expression was very serious. Song Yunfei grew anxious and tried to snatch his phone, but he dodged. What is it? Let me see. You'd better not look. The more he said that, the more anxious Song Yunfei became. It's not really some terminal disease, is it? Wait, could it be contagious? She looked at Chu Jinan with an expression of disbelief, as if asking if he had infected her. Seeing her look, Chu Jinan helplessly placed his phone on the table for her to see herself. After reading it, Song Yunfei felt utterly terrible. According to the internet, these were cockroach bites. So, while they were sleeping at night, cockroaches had been crawling all over them. Just thinking about that image gave her goosebumps all over. Song Yunfei lost her appetite for breakfast. She shot up from her seat and rushed into the bathroom. She washed herself from head to toe. Afterwards, she came out and began rummaging through the house, searching for any trace of cockroaches. We clean so diligently every day, how can there still be cockroaches? We hardly ever see them normally. Unfortunately, after searching for a long time, she didn't find a single cockroach. Strange, where are they hiding? Chu Jinan said, they probably crawled up from the kitchen drain. Song Yunfei turned her head in surprise to look at him. How do you know? I just killed one this morning. We can't keep this apartment. Song Yunfei felt she wouldn't be able to sleep at night. She could tolerate little bugs, she could even tolerate mice, and she could tolerate cockroaches too, but the premise was they couldn't crawl on her. If she saw a cockroach on her body while awake, she could jump straight from the balcony down to the ground floor. Chu Jinan wholeheartedly agreed, nodding in approval. We'll move next month. Chapter 80. Now, I really can't sleep. Her good mood for the day was ruined by that damn cockroach. She was listless even at work. During the corporate culture session, manager Zhang Tao asked if she hadn't eaten enough for breakfast. He even made her shout the slogans loudly by herself. Manager Zhang Tao roared powerfully, perk up and shout it out loud. Quote. To succeed, first go crazy. What else? Louder. You are a sales champion this month, show some spirit. Song Yunfei's face turned red as she shouted, strive once to enrich 3 generations, only by risking your life can you avoid failure. Sleep on the floor today, be the boss tomorrow. Her colleagues all applauded her, the sound echoing throughout the sales office. She felt she hadn't been this embarrassed even when she soiled her pants as a child. Who on earth invented this kind of corporate culture? Someone with social anxiety would probably die in this industry. Song Yunfei slipped away after the morning meeting, but before leaving, she asked manager Zhang Tao for the phone number of the client interested in renting. She contacted them. Manager Zhang Tao hadn't explained old Madam Chen's situation yesterday, and she felt it was necessary to clarify things, or they might come looking for trouble later. The client was a woman surnamed Wang, a customer service manager at a hotel. Sitting on her electric scooter, she gave Ms. Wang a general overview of old Madam Chen's situation, though of course, she didn't tell the whole truth. She only mentioned that old Madam Chen was afraid her son would come back to cause trouble, so she wanted her to think it over carefully. Ms. Wang sighed. I didn't expect people like that still existed. However, as long as he's not a violent person, it doesn't really matter. I have a contract, and you said he works out of town, so he can't come every day. Ms. Wang was a woman of the world, or perhaps she was just desperate to settle her living arrangements, so she didn't mind much. Since she didn't mind, Song Yunfei felt relieved. After hanging up, she rode straight to old Madam Chen's house. They had almost finished packing. Some unused but important items were locked in a small room. Tomorrow, Chen Wan would go to city to look for a house, and they would move as soon as she found one. It was clear that old Madam Chen was still a bit reluctant to leave the house she had lived in for decades. Song Yunfei comforted her. Grandma Chen, don't worry. This tenant is a very nice person. She'll take good care of the house. Old Madam Chen sighed. When people get old, they become useless. There's no point in keeping these things anymore. Chen Wan, who was packing, looked up and said, Auntie, everyone gets old. We'll all be old one day. If that's the case, why do we bother working hard? We might as well just lie down and wait to get old. The old madam said, that's why when you look for a husband in the future, you must find someone with a good personality who gets along with you. At least I still have you caring for me now, but if... She stopped halfway and just sighed to herself, seemingly still worried about woman's marriage prospects. Song Yunfei helped pack in silence, feeling a bit melancholy after hearing the old madam's words. She stayed for lunch at the old madam's place, and after most of the packing was done in the afternoon, she helped with the cleaning. Once they moved out, she would still need to hire a professional cleaner to go over it again. Before long, her phone suddenly rang. She took it out and saw that it was actually Li Miao calling. Song Yunfei put down her rug and walked outside to answer. Miss Li, how do you have time to call me? Li Miao asked. Am I disturbing you? No, not at all. What is it? Li Miao smiled. It's nothing major. I just wanted to ask if you and Mr. Chu are free next Saturday. I'd like to invite you to our company's 20th anniversary celebration. Anniversary celebration? Yes, I sent the invitation to your workplace, but I was afraid you might not have received it, so I'm calling you. Song Yunfei hesitated and asked, who else will be there? She really shouldn't have asked, it was a bit overstepping, but she was worried that among the guests, there might be someone who knew Chu Jinan. Li Miao didn't mind, just some partners, clients, and some close friends. Song Yunfei thought about it. Her family only seemed to be influential in Qingcheng, so they probably wouldn't be in contact with people of Chu Jinan's level. Since Li Miao had just bought 10 houses, it would be a bit unreasonable to refuse. Alright, I'll talk to him when I get back. Great, I'll be waiting for your good news then. Song Yunfei hung up and turned back to continue cleaning. Once the cleaning was mostly done, she rode her scooter to find Chu Jinan. Taking out her phone, she suddenly realized that Chu Jinan seemed to be a supervisor now. Wouldn't a workshop supervisor need to work overtime? She sent a message to Chu Jinan, asking if he had to work overtime. But he didn't reply, so Song Yunfei assumed he was busy. Song Yunfei waited for his reply. Since she was already there, it wouldn't hurt to find a place nearby to eat together. After waiting for about 10 minutes, Chu Jinan's voice suddenly came from behind her. Song Yunfei. Song Yunfei instinctively turned around and saw him standing behind her. He was still wearing that familiar white shirt and jeans. The jeans were so washed out they looked a bit white. She asked in surprise, "How did you get out?" "I'm off work." "You're not working overtime." "We haven't officially started production yet." He walked over and took the driver's seat on the electric scooter. "Get on." Song Yunfei gave an "oh" and swung her leg over to sit behind him. On the way back, she told Chu Jinin about the anniversary celebration. "Did you agree?" "Not exactly. I said I had to ask you first." Chu Jinin pondered for a moment. "If you've agreed, then we'll go." Song Yunfei smiled. "If you don't want to go, you don't have to." Chu Jinin said, "She just bought houses from you, it wouldn't be good to refuse." Seeing how reasonable he was, Song Yunfei was filled with emotion. If he had his memories back, he wouldn't be so easy to talk to. Li Miao had really caught him at a good time. Going home was supposed to be a happy thing, but at the thought of the cockroaches lurking in the house, Song Yunfei didn't really want to go back. After dinner, she went to walk the dog, staying out until 11 o'clock before returning. Quan Quan was so tired that as soon as they entered, it flopped down in its bed to sleep, no longer thinking about climbing onto the human bed. After they both showered, they sat on the sofa and looked at the bed in silence. It was obvious that neither of them wanted to lie on that bed. Wasn't it said that when one cockroach appears in a house, there's actually a whole nest hidden away? Song Yunfei rubbed her chin. "Chu Jinin, I have a great idea. Let's take turns sleeping. I'll sleep the first half of the night, and you'll keep watch for the second half." Chu Jinin gave her a meaningful look. "So I'm keeping watch all night, then?" Song Yunfei curled her lip. She thought he wouldn't catch on. She chuckled and couldn't help but reach out to pat his head. "Just kidding. You've got a sharp little brain." Chu Jinin's body stiffened slightly, and then he tilted his head to avoid her mischievous hand. "I have an idea too," Chu Jinin said. "What?" "We can sleep on the sofa." Song Yunfei looked at the sofa they were sitting on. It was a straight, two-seater sofa. It was a tight fit for Chu Jinin alone. It was impossible for two people to sleep on it. "It's so small, how can the two of us sleep on it?" Chu Jinin pulled her into his arms and lay down with her, demonstrating with his actions how they would sleep. Song Yunfei occupied only a tiny bit of the sofa, almost completely embedded in Chu Jinin's embrace, her whole body draped over him. Through their thin pajamas, their body heat transferred between them, and their breaths intertwined. In this intimate position, they could clearly feel every part of each other's bodies. After a moment, Song Yunfei noticed the change in him and looked up at him with difficulty. "Are you sure you can sleep like this?" Chu Jinin pressed his lips thin, his breathing becoming heavy. He raised his hand and pressed Song Yunfei's head back down, resting his chin on top of her head as his arms tightened around her. "No, I really can't sleep." But he didn't make any further moves, he just held her quietly. Song Yunfei listened to the thumping heartbeat in his chest, and the sound from the television became noisy and blurred. After a long while, as if possessed, she squeezed out a few words in a small voice. "How about I help you?"